Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll just talk a little more about the self, which is the problem, and the solution, which I talked about yesterday. So yes, the I am is the problem and the I am is the solution. So if we realize this on a deeper level, we come to the conclusion that actually this is the good news and the bad news all at once. Because this gives me the power to create anything that I want, to do anything that I want in my life, to have everything that I want, no matter what it is, because I am the only operating power. But with this comes also the responsibility, the full responsibility of everything that is going on in my life, every single detail that I am experiencing on the screen of space is my own creation. And this is where it really got very difficult for me, because this was something that I wasn't able to accept it. I couldn't take this responsibility. And I think for a lot of people that's also the case, because on one hand, okay, we can maybe one day accept fully that, okay, we have the full power over our life. Even this is difficult at times, yes, okay, but we can handle this. This is the good news. But then there comes the responsibility. And this is something that, in my experience, as I said, it was really so hard to believe. I couldn't believe this. I couldn't accept this. Because all of the, I wouldn't say bad things, because there are no good and there are no bad things in my understanding. So I would say the unfavorable things that I wasn't really, I didn't enjoy in my life. So the trauma that I experienced, how could I have been responsible for every single thing that happened there? How in the world could I have been responsible for the death of my husband? How could I have been responsible for him taking his own life? Yes, I've struggled with this for a long time. For several months, and I think this is where I also abandoned the teachings of Neville Goddard in particular, where he talks about the creation of your own reality. And I just couldn't take this responsibility, because I already was struggling at that time with so much guilt and so much shame, and the fears that I was experiencing. And when I came at this point of, okay, I am responsible for everything, I just couldn't accept this. It was too confronting for me. So at that point, I really tried to analyze all the things that I had been imagining, because that's what it says. Your thoughts, your feelings, your imagination are creating your reality. So then I started analyzing, okay, what were my thoughts? What were my feelings? What was I imagining all my life? What have I been thinking and feeling? Have I been creating from a place of fear, or have I been creating from and imagining from a place of love? Because where there is love, there can be no fear. And where there is fear, there can be no love. So I started to realize that I had been creating most of the time from a place of fear instead of a place of love. For the simple reason that, first and foremost, I wasn't aware at all that my imagination was creating all the time. The self is constantly creating. The mind is constantly creating things. Every moment of our life, we are creating things. And when I realized that I had been creating from a place of fear because I was occupied with all these things in my life. I had so much going on with family, with work. We had our own business, paying the bills, getting everything in order, and then also, of course, always being busy with everybody else except with myself. What was I creating? I was creating a world where I was just neglecting myself. I was not looking at what is it that I want, what is it that I would like to have, and creating this and imagining this from this feeling of love. How many hours of the day was I in the energy of love? Well, maybe 10% of the time when I was busy with my children or with my dogs, and all the other moments I was creating from a place of fear, worries, doubts, so maybe even anger. So what did I create? Well, I must say, I have to be honest, what I created in my mind, my imagination was, when I saw myself happy, I saw myself being alone, living alone. And the scenes that I created in my mind were scenes where I was just being peaceful by myself, which is okay, the life that I have now. I am living alone with my dogs, but it was a miscreation because I didn't realize that I was erasing certain people from my life. I didn't realize that I was creating this. I was literally erasing those people from my life, which include my husband, of course, and that was a miscreation because that was not what I wanted, because I really loved him, but it was too much stress on my head. There was too much going on in my life. So I didn't realize that all these things that I was feeling at that time, they were creating a whole other life. And it was just because of this one thing. I wasn't aware of the fact that I was creating. So this is also why I wanted to start this episode for everyone who is listening now. Please be aware of the fact that your mind is constantly creating. You are creating every moment of your life. Every single detail in your world is your own creation. You and only you have the full power, but you and only you have the full responsibility as well. So be very mindful of what you are creating and imagine wisely, because it will create your future. You can make your life a heaven or a hell. So be very mindful of that and take your responsibility. And I know very well that this can be a hard thing to do, to accept that all of this is your responsibility. I think that this is the most difficult part of all the teachings, taking full responsibility and realizing that it is your own creation. So start analyzing really, I would say almost in a very critical way. Start analyzing everything that is going on in your mind, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and take full responsibility for them, because they are the ones creating constantly. And always ask yourself, what am I creating at this moment? How am I feeling now? Stop for maybe 5 times a day for a couple of minutes, or just do this in the morning, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and in the evening. In the morning when you wake up, ask yourself, okay, what do I want to create today? From what feeling will I be creating today? What are my intentions? What do I want? And be very specific with this. This is something that I can't emphasize enough. Be very specific in what it is that you want and what it is that you don't want, because it's going to create every detail. It's going to make up every detail of your future life. This is our gift from the universe. Our imagination can be such a blessing, but it can also be a curse, my dear friends. It can be a curse if you don't use it wisely. So please be mindful of that. It is so important. And at night when you go to sleep, before you fall asleep, when you get into bed, just take 5 minutes. And it's even better if you just say, I'm gonna create something very lovely for myself, for my family, for my loved ones, for everyone in my reality, everyone in this world. Something lovely. What do I want to see tomorrow? What are the things that I would like to create? And also at the same time, what have I created today? Just be very critical and analyze from what percentage of the time today did I create from a base of love, and how can I maybe make this better tomorrow? How can I change this and do it very wisely? We are the only species on this planet who have this gift. The universe has gifted us with something truly beautiful, wonderful, but we have to start using it in a wise, in a very good way, in a lovely way. And everything that you are afraid of, just leave it behind. This doesn't mean that you have to ignore the bad things in your life, the unfavorable things in your life. No, but don't put your attention so much to them, because your energy goes where your attention goes. And that's where I have gone wrong in the past. I was spending all my attention to all these fear and anger based things, and I wasn't creating from this place of love and happiness and joy. So that's what I'm doing now. Every moment that I can stop in the day, in between the things that I'm doing, and every morning, every evening, just realizing this and being very critical of myself, because I know it is so important. And truly I know that it is not easy. It is not easy to take your responsibility, but that's what I'm doing now. I'm just accepting for myself what I have created in the past, and I'm taking full responsibility. And even at times, still it is difficult, but then I say to myself, no, I'm going to take full responsibility for this. And that's why it's been almost 1.5 years now that I lost my husband. And it's only now, since a couple of weeks or maybe even a couple of days, that I realize that I am ready to take this full responsibility. And this is when your life will change. When you take this full responsibility and you just say to yourself, okay, every morning, every evening, I'm gonna take full responsibility for everything that happens. And I have accepted everything that I created in the past. I take full responsibility for this. I accept it and I forgive myself. That's something that is very, very, very important. You have to forgive yourself for every miscreation. There are no truly dramatic things in life. Nothing is so bad in life that you cannot, I wouldn't say erase it, but you cannot take it back. Everything in the universe is constantly changing, and nobody or nothing goes to waste in the universe. This is something that was also really hard for me to believe, because the loss of my husband, it was a life that was lost, and I felt so guilty, as if I was the one who created this. I was the one who almost took this life away from the planet. But no, that's not the way to look at things. That's not the way to look at it. I will be going into this in much more detail for those of you that have lost someone in their life and maybe are also struggling with this guilt and shame and fear. Nothing goes to waste. Not a soul, not a single piece of even a stone or a leaf or anything. Nothing goes to waste in the whole universe. And that is so wonderful when you start to realize this, that nothing ever goes to waste and everything is just your own creation. Then you will be able to, it's as if when you take this good news, which is your power that you have, at that point you have to take also the bad news with it. You have to take the responsibility. You cannot take only the power and reject the responsibility. That's not possible. When you take on this power, it's like the universe is pushing you and nudging you to take also the responsibility. And that's, of course, the hardest thing, the hardest part here. But when you take on truly the full responsibility of this and you say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna work on this, because you can't do this from one day to another. In my case, I couldn't, because of all the difficult and the hard things and the traumatic things that happened in my life. So it took months for me, almost a year, to realize this and to take this responsibility. But once you show the universe that you are willing to take on this responsibility. Even if you can't accept it fully, the universe will help you to take this responsibility. And one day you will wake up and you will say to yourself, wow, I am able to take the full responsibility of this. And at that moment, my dear friends, I can tell you, things will really start to change in your life. Miracles will start to happen in your life. Believe me or not, just take it to the test. Please take it to the test. Do not take any word of what I am saying here on my channel. Just take it without putting it through the test. That's also what Neville Goddard says. Please put it through the test in your own life. And when I heard this, I didn't believe it. But I have put it through the test, and I can say, my dear friends, I will not lie to you. I don't lie about anything anymore in my life. I am always truthful about things because I know that they are my own creations and it is my responsibility. So please take it to the test in your own life and you will see miracles will start to happen. You will not believe it. And it will change you completely, change your outlook on life, and you will start to live a really happy, peaceful life. And that is what I wish for each and every dear soul on this planet, in the universe. So thank you very much for listening. I hope that this helped you in some way, and there will be a lot more episodes coming in the future. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please comment down below. And I am really thankful. I am really happy to communicate with you and to be able to help, maybe even if it is just one single person. I am always here for you. I wish you all the blessings in your life, everything that your heart desires. And please, please, please imagine wisely every moment of your day, every moment of your life. Thank you.